Well, welcome to the Stump, where I discuss various forestry issues, career, personal development, and really anything else on my mind. I am your host, Matt Comiskey, and today we are joined by Camryn Bostwick. He's a sales representative with Cascade Trader here in Chehalis. And so, welcome, Camryn.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I think we were talking just before I hit record here about trying to highlight some of the new younger generation coming into the forest product sector. And while Cascade Trader, I know, does more than just forestry, I know a lot of your customers and clientele here in the local area in the Pacific Northwest are forest logging contractors, those type of groups. So I thought it'd be great to have you on the show and kind of talking a little bit about you. And so I guess maybe you start with a little bit about yourself and your current work.
So I am a sales representative for Cascade Trader. I got into it with this company in particular at 15 years old, washing equipment. Not really knowing much about forestry, just kind of jumping in, just pressure washing, sweeping the shop, whatever I could do. And that moved forward to going to the diesel tech program with Centralia College. And when I turned 18, I said, Rich, I want to sell equipment, and he said, okay, well, let's have you working in the shop. Let's get on the background of this equipment. And, that's what our plan will be. And sure enough, when I turned 20, I ended up getting into sales, and been doing that for about a year now, and it's kind of taken off. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay. Well, I think in many ways, as I travel around the industry, your path of getting started is not too uncommon. I know of folks that kind of started in a similar way in some of the sawmills and stuff around here, and now
Right.
they're the managers of the mills. So I guess for those that might be listening or watching that aren't familiar with what Cascade Trader is, what do they do?
Well, back in the early 90s, it started as Cascade Logger Supply, which some of you may know. Rich started that selling wire rope and rigging, getting into the equipment game, the trailer mounted Huskies, things like that when the mechanical logging was kind of just getting going. And obviously, that since has formed into a full fledged dealership servicing 3 locations now, primarily in the Doosan, now known as Develon. Um, he has always had a full stock of used equipment as well. Traders in the name, and that's what we've been well known for. We actually just sold a pizza oven. Rich took on trade years ago. That's kind of what he's been known for is the unique trades, and the willingness to work with anybody from the warehousers to the small guys. That's one thing he's done well at throughout his ventures here.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I know some folks are probably very familiar. Used to be quite prominent there on the corner of State and Chamber Way in Chehalis, but I
Yep.
think you guys have moved down. I think the old steel saw warehouse kind of area.
Correct.
And so, how has that kind of helped with the business?
Oh, it's been huge. It's been real huge being right here on I-5. And we all took a tour since I was a mechanic then. We took a tour of the building, and all of us were thinking, well, how can you put a shop here? It's a warehouse, it's a distribution center. And Rich just had this mindset and vision, and we put in 5 shop doors. He put in the overhead crane, and it's become one of the best shops in the area. And going from where we're at, it's just a huge upgrade, and having the office and the shop all together has been huge.
Yeah, no, I think it's been from the outside looking in a big positive change, and it's been
Absolutely.
interesting watching. If nothing else, there's a much bigger yard of both new and used iron out there that gives folks a lot of opportunities there. So,
That's right. That's right.
well, I think the next question I was going to ask you is how you got started Cascade Trader, but I think we've already kind of covered that. Getting started washing equipment at a young age, and I think I guess one of the things maybe I'll ask and pivot a little bit is what do you think kind of led to your, I mean, we don't see today a lot of 15-year-olds wanting to get out and wash heavy equipment and stuff for a job. And
Not at all. Not at all.
um, what do you think kind of about your personality or skill set or whatever really led you to one, be willing to do that, and two, stick with it?
Well, I grew up around equipment. My dad being a long time heavy equipment mechanic, does primarily construction. My brother's project engineer, same construction outfit. Um, just being surrounded by that my whole life, and then wanting to get into that, wanting to run equipment, just wanting to be a part of it was the big thing. And obviously with Cascade Trader, that came forestry, and that's a huge part of what we do as a business. And I just really enjoy being involved in that, and being able to go around to these different job sites and whatnot, and meet the people that I do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I know. I that makes a lot of sense, and I happen to suspect that from what I know of your father, that he probably instilled a pretty good work ethic
That's
in
right.
you. So
That's right.
that really helps. And I guess one of the things I've been wondering is, are you kind of one of the driving forces behind what I kind of feel is a ramp up in the social media presence of Cascade Trader?
A bit, yeah, yeah. It's That's the direction things are going. That's how you get your name out there and your equipment out there, and that's it. Really is a big part in today's marketing, right? So everybody late night they're scrolling. If they're waiting on a log truck, they're scrolling.
Oh
it's,
yeah, no,
it's
I
the way
so
it goes.
yeah, I mean, I've been, seeing lots more of Cascade Trader, and then of course, your own Instagram account that's tied to Cascade Trader.
Correct.
So that's you out there collecting the video, making the posts, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
so that has to keep make part of your job rather, I guess, kind of interesting and different rather than just the traditional sales work.
It does. It does. And obviously cold calls are no fun, but if you can get out there and make a cool video for some guys, or just tell them you're out there wanting to get some footage, be a part of it, it's it's a much easier end than just telling them you want to sell them something. So
Yeah, no, that I mean, I think it's all that's going to kind of feed into another question I got coming up here. But what would you say has been kind of your biggest challenge so far, kind of getting in your job, but more kind of specifically starting your career?
well, I came into a slow market. Everybody knows the market's down. Um, it's obviously still moving. It has to, but definitely lacking to where we were, say 4 years ago. Um, that was definitely the biggest challenge. Timber prices go down, interest rates go up, the used equipment sits. Um, having our new equipment be 0% for 60 has helped, but nonetheless, rates are up. Guys are almost feeling defeated. You see more guys going out of it than are coming into it. Um, Not to mention, the sales aspect of it. I'm not a salesman. I don't view myself as a salesman, as a mechanic, right?
Right.
Um, and I've always just kind of been a listener. I'm not one to just kind of be out there. So that's been a challenge, trying to play that side of it rather than just sit back and observe. So that has been a huge challenge for me.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, I'd say probably when I was your age, I was in many ways very similar, much more kind of quiet listener, observer, and getting out and getting into the policy world and stuff. And a lot of my
Right.
friends that I still have from, childhood, they're like, "What do you do for work? That just doesn't seem like something you do." So,
Right. Right.
I mean, since it hasn't been that long since you've graduated from high school and stuff, do you have any like advice, thoughts you give to somebody that's kind of looking for their next steps after high school?
One thing I'd say is, try everything. I've obviously been a mechanic and, did that side of things. And then all the sales is an opportunity based off that. And, even not going that path, you could go wrench on something, go run a piece of equipment, go, cruise a timber plot, whatever it might be. It doesn't even have to be forestry. It's just try everything. And at the end of the day, you need to enjoy what you do to be successful. So you're never going to know what you're missing out on if you don't just try it. So
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree. I mean, to me, I would imagine, especially in your line of work, getting out there, understanding what the equipment does, maybe having some experience, even kind of running some of it, has got to make your work in selling the equipment a little bit easier and trying to help people. You can
well,
understand what their challenges are and those type of things.
right. Well, and one thing that's helped me is, just this week I went out and worked on a piece of equipment. That's not something most customers will expect out of a salesman. And the ability to be able to go out and do that has been huge. It's really admirable in a customer's eyes, being able to work both sides like that.
Yeah, I would imagine that actually I can see can give you a huge leg up and opportunity, especially, as if you continue on in this line of work, is, you know, a purchaser can come to you and say, "Hey, I've been having this mechanical issue or whatever with a piece of equipment." And not only can you have the experience of having worked on it and understand what is going on, you may even be able to bring back ideas to the manufacturer to say, "Hey, you know what,
Right.
we're seeing this repeatedly by my clients, and here's what I've had to do to tweak it. Maybe here's an idea so my clients don't have that problem into the future."
Right. Right. And we've, done that before. I've been, back to the headquarters in Georgia and presented them with such issues. And, they do their best to, help us out, help the customers out in that way. And it's been huge. So,
Yeah, no, I can see where, having that, like you said, the get out and try as many different things and that type of stuff. And especially, if you're interested in, there's a huge opportunity, I would say, in the heavy equipment field. Cascade Trader is just one of, several businesses. And, you guys have your line. There's other lines out there, but getting out there and getting that experience and definitely is an opportunity to move forward, and having that
mhm.
mechanic background, to me, I would think is just huge, because I
It
know
is.
that when I did more work in the woods, a lot of the folks that I you know oversaw or reviewed projects, they respected me a lot more after I spent 8 hours running one of their machines, so that I had a sense of
Yeah.
what it could and couldn't do, or the challenges. So
Right. Well, yeah,
um,
that's a big part of it is, you know, the guy is not seeing you as a salesman. He's seeing you as a guy that's just facilitating and, willing to help him out whatever way it takes, whether it's running parts or fixing his equipment or, just being able to facilitate that is a big part of it.
Yeah, no, that's really good. What so with that in sales, because I'm a firm believer we're all in sales, no matter what we
Oh yeah.
do. One way,
You're calling every day.
yeah, one way or another, everything you do is sales. what do you
Yep.
think are some of the most essential skills, or what's helped you be successful so far?
Well, just being personable, and listening is a big part of it. Observing the challenges your customers facing, and presenting a solution to those challenges. Your mind's always running. You're seeing a job. Okay, well, you move that yard over there. Well, you're going to be able to pull more wood. You're going to be able to have more lift. You're not selling anything, but you're just presenting your customer, your clientele with solutions to their problems. No matter what it might be. Um, with that being said, honesty is the biggest part of it. You gotta mean what you say, and you gotta deliver. And communication.
And I think and I think you touched on it earlier too. It's building that relationship. Like you said,
Yep,
going out and making a video of one of your customers or whatever, and helping kind of build that more personable connection, and
absolutely.
that to me is a big a big plus. I'd much rather have somebody come out and be honest, help offer solutions, help promote things, and kind of be that, you know, super hype I don't know, used car late night salesman on TV type personality.
Right, right. Well, there's unfortunately plenty of people in the industry that they'll bash the other dealer's equipment, they'll bash the other dealership, and that's not a good way to go about it. For example, we deal with Herman Brothers, and um, when I first met Bill Herman, he told me there's two things you need to know as a salesman. If you're going to say something, you deliver on that, and never bash the competition. That's actually one way we started working with Herman Brothers. Rich started with essentially nothing, as getting into a dealership, had a little lean-to for a shop, and a little shack for an office. And another dealer showed Herman Brothers a picture of that and said, do you really want to deal with these guys? And next day they bought something from Cascade Trader, and I've been dealing with them since. So
I
that
knowing
just
Bill,
goes to
I can
show.
picture that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, I think that's one thing that maybe a lot of people don't from outside the industry don't understand, that for as big of an industry it is, it's also a very small, kind of close knit, uh, almost kind of a family, or like at least like an extended family in many ways.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, we've got, I usually attend the Olympic logging conference every year up there in Victoria. And so there's, folks that go up there, and I'm like, hey, is Camryn coming up this year? And, they know exactly who I'm talking about. So
Oh yeah,
hopefully next year we're going to get you up there
I
because
know it.
it's a
I
lot of
know it. I've been
fun,
meaning to. Yeah,
but
the conferences are huge. There you just go there and you see so many familiar faces. You catch up and tell old stories, and um, like the PLC, for example, they do a real good job of getting everybody involved, and getting boots on the ground to people that might never go in the brush and see that equipment work. The kids is a huge part of it. Being able to go out and see
yeah,
that equipment work, see how it all works.
that to me, I think, especially like the last Pacific Logging Congress, in the woods show, I think was a
Yeah,
big success here locally. And, we're
absolutely.
we got 2 years now to the next one,
Right.
or however many cycles they do the in the woods. But I think that's a huge thing. And yeah, I would echo, the conferences are a huge piece, and I'm assuming that you'll be down in Eugene for the next Oregon
You bet.
logging conference down in coming up in February of 2025, and
Yep.
hopefully we'll see you up there in Victoria in late April.
Oh,
So
you bet. You bet.
it's, if you haven't been up there for that conference, it's a good group of folks, and you'll run into probably tons of people. So
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's lots of frustrations in your job, especially, these days, like you were saying, increasing interest rates, slow, soft markets. So there's the financing, that kind of stuff, trying to work through. But what's like the most fun or exciting aspect of your job?
Well, just never knowing what I'll do that week. I might be going down to California. I might be, going up near the Canadian border, over in Idaho. It's just, I mean, I've been down to Arizona selling equipment, so it's just huge to, or real fun to know that I don't know where I'll be or what I'm going to see or who I'm going to meet. So that's a big thing, is just the excitement of it, and you know how unpredictable it can be. So
Yeah, I really think in many ways that's probably what draws a lot of people for working in kind of the forestry, heavy equipment, construction world is there is that variability, really oftentimes day to day, at least week to week. So
right.
unless you really like doing the exact same thing every day, it's a great field to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, realizing you're in sales and stuff, how much you get involved in having to crank numbers and math and all that kind of stuff for
Well, all the time. It makes me wish I would paid a little more attention in school. I thought I was just going to be a dumb mechanic.
well, I don't know. Most mechanics I know also need to understand math too. So
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
guessing you got a pretty
it's
good
big.
grasp of it. But
Yep.
um,
Yeah. No, it's using spreadsheets and whatnot. It's not something I saw myself doing in high school. So um, yeah, kind of getting back on that and relearning some of that stuff.
oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
well, I think we're
learning.
I think that's a common thing these days is relearning all of it.
Yeah.
Trying to learn how AI is going to influence the industry and all that kind of stuff, and
Oh,
all that is a whole new field. So
it's changing all the time. You know.
yeah, no, that's great to hear. What do you see on the horizon? Anything new, exciting coming out in the Cascade Trader world, or any of the equipment lines that you guys carry?
We're seeing some innovation as far as Develon's work goes. Helping them engineer different models of equipment, different sizes, and always innovating the existing equipment. Um, One of the big things, Eric Krim's done so well with the hydraulic yarders. That's something we really want to be a part of, and see what we can do there, because like I say, that's the direction it's going. Um, you know, you're always going to have your gears and clutches and brake drums. It's always going to be there, but the way it's swinging is definitely the hydraulic side. So we definitely are looking into that, and trying to be a part of that.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the innovation that's coming out, a lot of it unfortunately is being driven by, either one, the need to get people off the ground just because you can't afford the L&I rates, or
Right.
two, you got to get people, or not people, positions off the ground because you may not have the people to put out there these days.
Well,
It's hard to
that's
find people.
that's been the
So
toughest part, is finding anybody that wants to set chokers or chase or whatever it might be. It's tough. It's a tough game. Um, I'm hoping the unemployment rates will go down and whatnot, and we'll have the access to those that personnel. But yeah, in the recent years, it definitely has been lacking. As far as employees in the woods.
yeah. Well, but at the same time, I think it still opens up, especially with a lot of the innovation, because we're seeing. I'm sure you see it as you travel around, a certain demographic starting to transition out of the industry, and boy, joysticks and push buttons and all of that probably suits a younger generation a little bit better than
It does. It does.
some of
Yeah.
the more old school ways of logging.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. It's going to the tethering, and it's going to grapple carriages with cameras on them. Not the need to have guys down there down the hill, 1,500 feet down. It's that's the way it's going. They're getting boots off the ground, which is a big thing, from a safety and a personnel standpoint. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hey, I know you've probably got some sales to make, so I don't want to keep you all too long, but
Right.
anything else you want to cover, add? How do people get a hold of you if they want to come buy a brand new so pronounce it for me again, because I Doosan just rolls off my tongue, but
It is now known as Develon,
Develon.
standing for
Okay.
Develop Onwards.
The same
So,
orange and black color scheme, but just a
yep,
new name.
yep, same machines, built in the same place, just a new name.
Then, of
So,
course, you guys got the yard there that if somebody needs to try and trade something, I'm guessing I couldn't come in and trade a pizza oven for a shovel or a tower these days,
we
but
always look into it. We always look into it. You never know.
yeah.
Yeah, but anybody can come on in. Our shop here, office on Hamilton Road, our location in Hayden, Idaho, and our new location in Everett, Washington.
Oh, okay. I guess I didn't know where the third one was. So up in Everett, huh?
Yeah, we just opened up a dealership mainly for rental purposes and to better serve our customers up north. Getting rid or minimizing that travel time for mechanics and having the parts availability up there. So we're really looking forward to expanding that and growing that location.
I don't know that makes a lot of sense. A lot easier to go north from Everett than it is to get north from Chehalis anymore and
That's
up through that Seattle
Yep, that's right.
traffic nightmare. So, and when you got equipment down and a yarder side that may be costing you $2,500 a day, getting a mechanic out there as soon as possible, big deal. So,
It is. It really is.
but well, cool. So, what's the best way? Like I said, if somebody wants to come buy a new Delevelon,
Develon.
Develon, oh boy, it's going to take a little bit for
It
that to
will.
sink in. But
It
they
was the
want to
same
come buy a
thing
new
with.
piece of equipment. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, you can call me at 360-890-0253, or like I say, come on in anytime and just get a hold of us. So
Okay, well, cool. I will put the contact information in the show notes and stuff. So anybody that's either watching this either both on YouTube or if they're on one of the podcast platforms, they can scroll over and track that stuff down. And I assume or email works too. If we're talking folks that sometimes work long hours.
oh
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you can also reach me at Camryn at Cascade Trader. That's CAMRYN at cascadetrader.net.
All right. Well, cool. Thank you for your time, Camryn. I think this has been great. I'm gonna want to I'm gonna put you on the list to come back and check in some other time.
You
Or
bet. You
my other
bet.
goal is to start doing some more like remote interviews. So maybe this year I have it on my goals to make it to Oregon Logging Conference. I don't know
Okay.
why I say that every year and then I schedule some other meeting and I never make it down there. And
Well,
hopefully
you
we'll
got to
see
make it. It's
Victoria.
always a good time in Oregon.
That's what I hear, and the organization I work for tends to have seems to have a growing presence down there. So we'll be down there. But it's been fun talking with you, and like I said,
Yeah,
look forward to a future check in to see how things are going.
absolutely. Appreciate you having me on, Matt.
Very welcome.